Welcome to the Barnes Flyover. This is your monthly update on all things 104th Fighter Wing, what's happening at Barnes Air National Guard Base, and how they're making an impact right here in the community of Westfield. Whether you're here to learn something new, check out what's happening, or just to hang out and listen, this podcast has got you covered. Let's take off into today's episode.
All right.
Apparently sunny in here. Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to Barnes Flyover.
Episode 2, welcome back.
Holy moly, we're
We
doing
made it.
this again. Yeah, we're doing this again. Okay, so we're here. I'm Melanie Casineau, Public Affairs Social Media Specialist at the 104th Fighter Wing.
I am Jay Hewitt, 104th Fighter Wing Public Affairs Manager, coming at you on a rainy day. Does that matter? No, because just an hour ago we did some Finney flights, some takeoffs. The F-15 is an all-weather tactical fighter, so even though it's super foggy outside, not much visibility, we are flying. You better believe that, so we have a great day for you.
We are also having a golf tournament at this moment, and I don't know how they're doing, but it's not a golf day for me, for sure.
I didn't get an invite for that, but
Scott Conropoli, shout out to him. He is retiring, and it's his retirement party today.
they're going to miss my 105 scorecard, I'll tell you that.
Jesus. All right, so we're going to just continue with getting to know your hosts. We have 3 questions for each other, just quick questions, but get you to know who we are. I guess I can start.
Sure, thank you. I have not heard these yet.
So Jay was in the Coast Guard. What was your job in the Coast Guard?
So I started out as an E3 on a 140-foot ice-breaking tug called the U.S. Coast Guard Cutter Sturgeon Bay. We just did a lot of maritime patrolling in the East River, in the Hudson River. A lot of fun, long days on the ice-breaking tug. It is so fun doing 12 to 4 JOD watch and then going in your third high crow's nest rack, and then we're breaking ice at 6 in the morning, and it's the loudest thing you've ever heard, besides jets. But after that, I was a yeoman in the Coast Guard, which is basically just the people who will do your pay, cut your orders, so basically like a human resources specialist in the civilian world. So that was a lot of fun, did 4 years of that. So that's what I did.
So an ice cutter?
Yes, so it was an ice-breaking tug, so we would just go up and down the Hudson River, breaking ice all winter.
Wow.
Yeah, fun stuff.
Wow. Okay. All right. How long were you in the Coast Guard?
4 years. I knew before joining that my plan was to do 4 and out. When I was in, that plan was tested heavily because I loved it so much. But ultimately, it really catapulted me to get my second master's degree, to really continue to push myself forward and continue learning, and to help me get this job, which is where I want to be forever. So it's awesome, and I love the path that I kind of had to get here.
Okay, and then that brings me to my third question. You have 2 master's degrees,
Yes.
and what are your degrees in?
Very irrelevant topics. Sport management, that one did me wonders. Well, I did work at ESPN for a little bit, so that one did help. And then the second one is a master's degree in a master's of fine arts in creative writing.
Creative writing.
Love to write. That's kind of why I took this job. There's a lot of writing in what we do. I love writing stories, telling features about our barnstormers and what we're doing out in the community. But besides from that, I also write a lot of horror fiction, and I have a few published things and a full-length book on the way. So.
I am not a horror fiction reader. I love history. Maybe you can do historical fiction.
That'll be the next one. I like it.
All right.
All right, on to my questions for you. What is your favorite Disney movie, Melanie?
My favorite Disney movie is Raya,
Okay.
because Sisu is my favorite dragon, and she's my spirit animal.
I have not seen it.
I love Raya and the dragon.
Any Raya tattoos yet?
No dragon tattoos either.
Okay. Let's see. Number 2, favorite place you've been to while you served?
Germany.
Germany?
Hands down, Germany. Germany is like, to me, in Europe, it's like being in New England because you can just drive to different countries. So while I was in Germany, I went to France and Belgium and Switzerland and all over, but it's just got a more relaxed culture, more respect for people. It's just cleaner. I love Germany.
Very cool. Last question. Let's see. I know you were in California recently.
Yes.
What was your favorite thing you did there?
My favorite thing in California, I was hiking in Simi Valley, so lots of hiking with my son. And then lastly, I did canoeing in Marina Del Rey, and we had sea lions that we were canoeing with.
Very cool.
Kayaking, sorry.
Kayaking.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
big difference.
So definitely like that. So
Awesome.
All right.
So those are our 3 questions. We may continue that until we get to know each other well enough, but every day you learn something new about your host here. So coming up on the Barnes Flyover, we are going to get into some recent base and community events, things that did happen in the past, as well as talking about what we are going to be doing in the future, a little look at what's coming up. That will be all of yours next, but first here is a quick look at what Barnes has been up to this past April.
Hey there, we're gonna fly. Fly all day till the day we die.
Fly all day till the day we die.
Flying up and flying down and flying up and flying down.
Flying up and flying down and flying up and flying round.
Hey there, we're gonna fly.
Hey there, we're gonna fly.
Fly all day till the day is right.
Fly all day till the day is right.
Flying up and flying down and flying up and flying down.
Flying up and flying down and flying up and flying round.
Hey there, we're gonna run.
Hey there, we're gonna run.
Run all day till the day is done.
Run all day till the day is done.
Running far and running near and running far and running near.
Running far, running near, and running far, and running near.
Hey there, we're gonna fly.
Hey there, we're gonna fly.
Fly all day till the day is right.
Fly all day till the day is right.
When we get a little bit bored,
When we get a little bit bored,
then we're gonna run some more.
then we're gonna run some more.
Hey there, we're gonna fly.
Hey there, we're gonna fly.
Fly all day till the day we die.
Fly all day till the day we die.
Flying up and flying down and flying up and flying round.
Flying up and flying down and flying up and flying round.
Hey there, we gonna fly.
Hey there, we're gonna fly.
Fly all
All right.
That is so
Who
cool.
wants to go for a run? I'm ready.
I am so proud of the 104th Fighter Wing. Every time I see stuff like that, it just reminds me of why I'm here.
Oh, yeah.
I've been here for a while, 27 years, retired after 20, and stuck around. And I have no hopes of leaving. It just makes me proud when I see stuff like that.
It's so hard not to get hyped when you see that video.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And that was just April.
That was April. So those were some events we had. Let me go over our community engagement because we're huge with community engagement here on our base. So April was Month of the Military Child. So our Easter Bunny hosted a visit to the kids, had an egg hunt, and also brought out his family friends, or his family farm friends with him. We had pigs and chickens, and of course the bunny was there. April 13th, Colonel Michael Glass, commander of the 104th Operations Group, spoke at the Springfield Symphony Hall for the Air Force Academy band they were playing. He's also a graduate there. And when he spoke on the importance of music and its history. And again, he's also a graduate there. We've had lots of tours. It's definitely tour season, and I might say if you're listening to this or watching this, maybe take some notes because there is so much information we're going to give you today. So the tours that we've done, we did our Air Force ROTC tour that came from 6 different colleges. We also did Red Cross, Westfield Technical Academy. We had Shenandoah High School from New York, Connecticut homeschools from multiple towns, and Bright Ideas Brewery. That's been quite a month of tours. On April 22nd, we had our wellness fair hosted by our wonderful wellness team. Had about 20 different resources and about 60 Barnes members attended, so that was great. April 21st, Boston Marathon, and that was supported by 29 of our security forces members and about 20 of our medical squadron. And that's a lot. I'm sure I've missed something, but we'll let's talk about some base events that we've done.
Base events, all right. We touched upon this in the very first episode of the Barnes Flyover. The Norwegian Foot March took place over April Drill on April 5th. So that was the 18.6 mile run with over 24 pounds of a weighted rucksack. And we had over 150 sign up, 105 people completed the Ruck March with 88 earning their medal.
Wow.
That was really
That's
awesome.
huge.
Yeah. even despite the
We had bad weather that day, too.
bad weather that day. And as my Sergeant Lauren said, when it's raining, that pack will weigh an extra 20 pounds at the end of those
Oh, that's
18.6
crazy.
miles. So.
Wow. A lot
yeah.
of repeat people, too, I saw in those pictures.
Yep. So one of those pictures that we had up there was Sergeant Connor Gorman, who won for a second straight time with a new Massachusetts state record of 2 hours and 59 minutes, shattering his own record last year. So that is amazing. Connor Gorman is an absolute machine when it comes to rucking. I think he just wakes up and just rucks.
It's just crazy, crazy.
Really
Good for him.
cool event.
Good job, congrats.
Really cool event. Congrats to Connor Gorman. April 12th, we had the Salem Muster. I went and traveled to this event, and let me say that morning of April 12th was probably the worst conditions I've driven in a long, long time.
It's New England. You cannot.
It was a blizzard, so we canceled our flyover for that day, as well as a helicopter was supposed to hover over the Salem Common, and then there's supposed to be someone rappel down, which would have been amazing photographs. Didn't happen, but you know what? We stuck through it. All of our barnstormers were literally shivering as they were standing there at parade rest waiting for that pass and review. So great job to all of those people who volunteered to participate in Salem Muster. And of course, that is marking the 250th anniversary of the start of the American Revolutionary War, with the shot heard around the world in April of 1775. So that is a really great event. We had a lot of great people there, and it was just a great place to kind of mark Salem as the birthplace of the National Guard, and it's something that we love doing every year is the Salem Muster. We also had U.S. Air Force Lieutenant General Luke Torch Amon, commander of the 1st Air Force, visit the 104th Fighter Wing in April. And really that visit was just to kind of get a glimpse of the fighter wing and looking at our eventual conversion to the F-35 aircraft and what our alert plans are going to be. So that was a great visit. He gave us a lot of great insight and provided a lot of great back and forth communication there. So that was a wonderful visit from him. And then lastly, Best Warrior Competition. So we talked about that in the first podcast as well. We mentioned our amazing public affairs specialist, Airman First Class Elijah Harris, who competed. He had less than 2 weeks to prepare for this event.
Less than 2 weeks, and he had just come from basic training and tech school. So
Yeah.
he'd been on base maybe a month, maybe 2 months.
And people train for all year,
Yeah.
more than
Well, this
years.
it's primarily Army focused, and so they actually do the Army physical fitness test, and they're training year round. And again, a lot of repeat people coming to this. There is a story in our Air Scoop coming out next week that you'll get to read. But from what I heard, Elijah found out that we had nobody representing the 104th, and he was like, "That just can't happen." So he decided to do that. And you'll also be able to read about the support that we've had from members of the 104th Fighter Wing that were just like, "Yeah, you're going to do this. I know you don't have much time, but we're gonna make sure you've got the best support possible." And I think that contributed highly to his effectiveness because he came in 6th place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, we talk about Barnstormers being a family. When I was looking at Elijah training and just seeing everyone helping him, whether it be help with the land data night land navigation, or the shooting qual, or the ruck, just huge support throughout the base. And I know Elijah has initially thrown his hat in the ring for next year's Best Warrior competition, in which he states he is going to win with more time to prepare. So, and if he does, that'll be, if I'm not mistaken, the first airman to win the competition ever. It's never had an airman win Best Warrior
That is
competition.
crazy. He did also compete against Ireland and, oh gosh, who was it? You can say. Kenya and Ireland were there. He's here. He's just staying out of the camera.
Perfect.
All right.
Besides all of that, we very busy April. We had a lot of incentive flights going on with our two-seater going away later this year. We had a lot of change of commands, assumption of commands, a lot of people moving areas, just really refining their craft and getting the most exposure and making sure that they have all of the visibility onto what all of the different jobs at Barnes are and how we kind of coalesce and work with each other. So that was really awesome to see too. So that was April, and coming up for you, we have a look at a little snapshot of what we have going on in May and beyond. So that is exciting. And now we go for some upcoming community events.
Upcoming community events. Again, we're very, very busy this month. So this is where you want to take some notes if you're listening. So May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and our wellness team, especially Michelle and Mary, will be out doing a lot of meet and greets. And I hear they have swag bags full of nifty stuff and resources they're going to be handing out all month. May 3rd is National EOD Day, and May 4th is International Firefighters Day. So check out our socials. We are definitely going to be highlighting those. Upcoming tours, more tours. May 8th, U.S. Navy Sea Cadets. And May 22nd is our Springfield Central High School. It's the Air Force ROTC group there. We do a lot with them as well. May 17th is pretty big for us. It is the Aviation Museum in Westfield from 10 to 2, 1000 to 1400. They have dedicated their lobby to the 104th Fighter Wing. And so the importance of this is it's the only local museum where civilians and people off base can go to find out about our history of the 104th. We don't have anything local for that. And it is in Hangar 3, right outside our fence line, so it's pretty cool. On that day, they're going to have approximately 20 additional aircraft flying in, as well as their living museum that they have in the hangar. But those aircraft will be offering free flights to Barnes members and families. And these are vintage aircraft, biplanes.
I'm signing up.
It is really cool. You do have to send an email on this flyer. We have a brew screen that you have to send an email to if you do want a flight. But the lots are going to have different military groups selling swag stuff. Northbound Butcher Block will be there. It's going to be a fun day. More events, chaplain events. Our chaplain team is amazing on base. I'm sure if you haven't met them, you really need to meet them. They are eventually going to be a guest. We have some really great chaplains. But May 22nd is a Thursday, and it's the first annual Golf and Grow. It is a free registration, and you have to register by May 7th, so that's coming up. June 22nd is Strong Bonds family event at Great Wolf Lodge. I did it with my kids and my family years ago, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I highly recommend any Strong Bonds event, but this family one is definitely great, especially at Great Wolf Lodge. And August 19th, they're having a clergy day. I know it's a little ways out, but this is open to any community clergy who want to come on base, see what we're about. They're also going to be doing a meet and greet with the members and having a lunch with the members, so that's going to be a fun day. More info to come on that. Alumni dinner is June 18th. So for all you alumni out there, that's always a hoot. The last one we had was the largest. I think there was 150 people.
We can beat that.
It was the largest. Well, from what I know from history, as the weather gets nicer and we can stand outside and do more things, it does get bigger. But that was a pretty big one, and we were inside for that. Also, math classes are being offered on base. So if you have a math class that you need for your CCAF requirement and get it done, it's going to be offered by Westfield State on base. So like literally when you get done with work, you walk over and take your class. It's a no-brainer. I did it, and it literally was the make or break for me getting my CCAF. If they hadn't offered it on class, I don't know if I would have got my butt to college. So this is pretty cool. Bento and retention is the contact for that. Also, all of this information is on the SharePoint.
Very cool.
There's a lot going on.
A lot going on.
There's more, but this is what we've got so far. And now, so what do we have going on base? That was off base. So what do we have going on base?
Sure, a lot of base things coming up in May. If you do happen to see any of the folks from the EOD or our firefighters, please make sure to thank them for what they do. They have a really, really hard, difficult job, and they are always out in Westfield, in the community, working with our local police departments and working with all of our local other groups. So if you see an EOD person or a firefighter, make sure you thank them for what they do for National EOD Day and International
Something you might not
Firefighter
know,
Day.
but a couple years ago, we did have a bomb scare in West Springfield, and it was our EOD guys that went out there and took care of it,
Yeah.
made sure everything was safe. So our members, our support on base also helps the community. So we are always available.
Yeah, so can't wait to put out some content for those folks over at EOD and Firefighters Day. Upcoming base activities, a lot of stuff coming on. This is a little bit of breaking news, actually. Do we have like a breaking news little sound thing? Exactly. This happened no less than 2 hours ago. We had 2 Finney flights take place this morning in the rain.
fun.
I love how it just went right into the
clouds.
right into the
Gone.
clouds like
Yep.
that. Like I said, it's a foggy, rainy day. Guess what? We're still flying.
So they should be coming back soon too. So if you're
Yes.
well, this is going to be sent later in the week. So not if you're listening now. We're not live.
We
but
are not live,
you should
but
be back in a couple hours after.
and we do have people at base, even though we can't be there to photograph it. We do have many people on base who are always looking to help out, and they'll be getting a lot of photos of them coming back here, and that will be on our Facebook and Instagram pages for you sometime soon.
That's a good point. So I just want, if you're Barnes members listening to this, if you are at an event and we can't cover it, you can cover it. You can do it and send us the pictures, give us some backstory on that, and we will use it on our socials. Sometimes we even write stories on it. We try to do our best to be everywhere, but we can't, and you guys are just as good as us. So as long as it's safe, legal, and okay, we will use it.
Heck yeah. All right, so those Finney flights today, that was Major Mark Mr. Chow Silvers and the great Major Mike Risky Bednaz. And I made a point about this yesterday. I just learned what that call sign meant, Risky, because his last name is Bednaz, so it's Risky Bednaz.
Risky business.
Risky, right. Well, yes, but
Got it. Okay.
no, we have a lot of fun call signs, so that's a fun one. Both Mr. Chow and Risky will be going off to F-35 TX training down at Luke Air Force Base for our eventual conversion to the F-35 aircraft. We will miss them both dearly. They are amazing people, amazing pilots, and they do a lot of work here. So we will have to cover down, but we always do a great job in doing that. So great Finney flights today. Can't wait to see them back, and I'm sure they'll still be around.
That's good to hear that they're going to the F-35. Sometimes our Finney flights are for pilots that are retiring and no longer going to be flying. So
Yep.
This is their final flight, Finney flight, with the F-15. But they are going to start a new chapter in the F-35.
Very cool.
That's cool.
All right, so that was today that happened. May 9th, which is next week, we have our base cleanup day. A lot of fun, a lot of camaraderie, just people, we play some music, we clean up the base, and we make sure everything is looking great, mission ready, no FOD anywhere, no debris, and just making sure that everything looks great, and that's a fun time, so I can't wait to do that. May 5th through 16th, we have a Cyber Yankee exercise, which will be the 11th year that the 104th Fighter Wing is doing it. It will be in New Hampshire this year. And basically what Cyber Yankee is our communication squadron is a joint exercise where members from our comm squadron will go and work with regional civilian corporate entities, and I apologize as I'm reading this off, to test the government's response to a potential cyber threat. So here we have military members, contractors, and civilians all working together, placed into various teams with roles of attacking, defending, or managing the scenario. So it's a really cool, in-depth, kind of very fluid exercise where you kind of have to play these roles where you're either trying to prevent a cyber attack or you're trying to implement a cyber attack, and they kind of look at the ways in which the Guard can work with the government and these civilian entities and corporations if that were to happen. So
That is going to be an exciting story when that comes out, too.
Yes, it is. So that is an awesome one. What else do we have? May 16th is a really important day. We do this every year. The F-100 rededication ceremony, we started that on May 17th of 1987. So I think I might need that math class, Melanie. What is that, like 40 years?
I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, it's over 40 years. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
It's
so-
almost 50 years.
Yeah, so that is a great event. It is
39. Here's
39.
what did you-
38.
38. Oh, okay. So, yeah, I don't know. My math class didn't stick.
Thank you to our executive producer, A1C Elijah Harris, for that. Yeah, we're doing a flyover for that, really cool event. I love taking pictures of it. We have our honor guard performing there, and it's just
It's a really nice ceremony.
yeah, and I always tear up during it because it's just, Moon will give a great speech, and we do invite a lot of the family members there.
Yeah.
So it is
Yeah.
it is a fun event, but it's also very, it's
It's
a
good to
little
have
somber.
that remembrance every year.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we have that coming up. We do have some upcoming night flying. I love that. I cannot wait to be on the flight line at night and get some really great pictures of our Eagles after sunset. That is coming within the next few weeks in May. Stay tuned for more exact dates. Rounding up the base events in May here, we have a generational communications course, 29 through May 30 on our SharePoint. So any Barnstormers interested in that. Open to anyone, first line supervisors, NCOs, airmen, open to anyone. So if you're looking for that class, that is a good workshop. It is one of the most desired courses that is offered because it takes a serious subject and uses humor and real-life examples to drive home the actions we as individuals control and need to take to ensure to bring all generations together in the office. That sounded very, very
It's very scripted, but it was the description from the class, and I thought it was important because I thought it sounded good.
Yeah, it's a good class. And then last but not least, on June 2nd, we have our Generations for Leaders, another class that is being offered that will also be on the SharePoint. Wing Leadership Command Team, Senior Enlisted Leaders, and SNCOs. If you are interested in that, that will be on the SharePoint as well.
One more thing with the base, the
Yes.
Innovation Week in Patriot Pitch of 2025. Lieutenant Colonel Dugan, Jeremy Dugan is the POC for that. Also information on the SharePoint, May 5th and 6th, so that is coming up next week. Also May 9th and 11th, different events. And just a little background, Innovation Event Week is where you can bring solutions you would like to explore to problems you have identified directly to senior leadership. So we've
Okay.
had some members on base take advantage of that, and it's always been a good thing.
Love it.
Yeah. Oh, look, we're going into Barnes
We
fun
are
facts.
going into
Okay.
our Barnes fun facts.
So-
We need another little soundboard thing for
I
this
know. I'm going to be doing this every month. I am huge into history, and I just want to pop up this newspaper here. So if you ever want to come down to the 104th Public Affairs Office, we have old newspapers, old air scoops, old pictures. You just could get lost in history in there. But this month, May of 1974, some fun facts.
What do we got?
Wigs were
Wigs.
okay to wear. An emergency change to Air Force Manual 35-10 was written in May of 1974. Originally, wigs could only be worn to cover baldness or disfiguration. In May, that changed so that wigs of good quality, well-fitting, and presenting a natural appearance conforming to the normal Air Force grooming standards in that they don't interfere with the proper performance of duties, and allowed guardsmen to wear hair of desired length most of the time. So if you had long hair, you could wear your hair long, but then on drill, you could tuck it into your wig and wear the short style that was required to wear for your uniform.
Okay, that is a fun
I
fact.
have absolutely no idea if wigs are still allowed, but in 1974, that was an emergency change. Again, all of this history stuff I get from, they were written in our newsletters. Okay, also in 1974, in May, the age limit was raised for gals in the Guard. The age limit permits the enlistment of women without any prior service up to the age of 35. Previously, it was 28, and so now they have the same age category as men in May of 1974. And then lastly, a United States Air Force letter was released to commands explaining what to expect in new office excellence furniture. Instead of the color gray, as apparently back prior to 1974, everything was gray, the bases were given choices of two colors stocked by General Service Administration, GSA, which we all love, parchment and black for metal furniture, and chair fabric choices were given, GSA stock blue, orange, green, and black.
Okay.
So, fun facts. Also, look in the air scoop because I'm going to be doing a story on that our air scoop very well could be the oldest newspaper in the National Guard.
All right.
So stay tuned on whether that's a true fact or not.
Okay, I like it. A little breadcrumb.
Yes. So next on our, what are we doing next? We've got our
Next,
guests
we have
coming
our
and
amazing guests.
we have our guests coming. So we're going to take a little bit of a break and we're going to get our guests on.
We are back.
Hello. Okay, we're back, and we have two exciting guests here. I'm very excited because I know these two guys from the 104th Fighter Wing, Galen Wilson, Scott Hepburn. So at first, I want them to introduce themselves as where they came from with the 104th Fighter Wing. So we'll start with.
All right, I'll jump right in. Yeah, Galen Wilson. I'm a retired chief from the 104th Fighter Wing. I was a quality assurance chief out there, aircraft maintenance squadron chief, and the MXG chief. Graduated. I'm thinking high school here. I retired in 2013, And yeah, prior to the 104th, I traveled all over the place, did a lot of great things. Part of the ACCIG team and stationed down in Holloman, Minot, North Dakota, Loring Air Force
Were you always
Base.
guard?
No.
No. So you
Nope.
were active duty prior. Were you always the Air Force?
So always Air Force.
Okay.
Always active duty. AGR also. So I went from active, whole bunch active to
Okay.
AGR, and then retired as a 30-year AGR.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it worked out pretty good. Yeah,
What about you, Scott?
great.
So I started out in active duty. So I went into active duty a little bit later. So I went in at 27. So I spent my first 10 years active duty working on F-15s, did 6 years of aircraft maintenance, and then I did 4 years of training.
Wow. Okay. All right. And how long were you total military?
So total I was 21,
21 years. And what was your retired rank?
senior master sergeant.
Senior Master Sergeant. Great. Well, very proud of you guys. All right. So now you guys know their background, how I know them, but they are also part of the Westfield Technical Academy, part of the Aviation program. So how did you get involved with the Aviation program?
Well, so after I retired, I wanted to get into teaching. I wanted to be a school teacher, specifically social studies, believe it or not. And then this opportunity came up, and Westfield Public Schools wanted an aviation program.
Oh, they did?
Yes, they did. And so I was approached and said, hey, we want one. We don't have one, but we want one.
Nice.
And so could you make it happen? So on August 8th of 2015, I was hired as an aviation teacher.
Wow.
And I wrote the curriculum for the program and the syllabus and the worksheets and the study guides and the quizzes
Holy
and the tests
moly. Wow.
and everything else that goes with a Department of Education certified program.
Were you hired and then wrote it, or did you have to write it to get
I
hired?
actually was hired and then wrote it.
Okay, good. That's
And
a lot of work.
What's interesting is, so like I said, I was hired 2015, August of 2015. The students started in September.
Oh, wow.
So I had 3 weeks
Wow.
to start getting the program going.
So how much of your background helped you being part of the 104th?
I tell you what, and that's a great question because, being part of the 104th and being part of that whole flying group, you learn how to manage your time and you learn how to work effectively.
Yeah.
And so my experience with the Air Force and the 104th, with all these mentors that I had out there, Colonel Gush, and
Yes.
and at the time Colonel Keefe and a whole bunch of other chiefs and commanders out there that really helped me out for sure.
good.
Yeah.
All right, Scott, how did you get involved with the Westfield program?
So I got involved. It was actually my son wanted to get into the aviation program.
Okay.
So I was still at the base, and Scotty wanted to get into the aviation program. So I reached out to Galen about working to get Scotty into the program and how it works. So there was a job open. So I was just about at my retirement age. So I just kind of flip-flopped.
So what year was it when you became an instructor here?
2018.
Okay, and the program started in 2015?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So if it started in 2015, when was your first graduating class? Did you graduate?
2019.
Wow. Okay.
So I was solo there for a couple of years, and
Yeah.
whew.
How many teachers do you have now?
Total of 56.
Oh, wow.
Teachers?
I'm sorry, students.
Students, 56 students, and that's
Yeah.
grades
So we
9
have-
through 12.
Yeah, and that's 9 through 12. Yes, sorry about that. I need to actively listen. And then instructors, we have 4.
4 instructors.
Yeah,
Okay.
so three instructors, 1 shop assistant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what is the process, Scott, to getting into the program? What did your son have to do?
So they go through exploratory when they get to the school. So starting in September, they go through all the exploratory. So all the students go through a 1 day. So there's about 164, 165 students that come through a 1 day. And then they decide what they want to do for a 1 week. So then they select 4 1 weeks that they want to do. Now 5, it used to be 4. So 5 1 weeks they want to do. And then the students go through those 1 weeks. So we bring them into the program and we start teaching them about, the physics of flying, how airplanes move, flight controls and all that kind of stuff. And then we test them a lot. So we give them 3 tests during the 1 week.
Wow.
And then we give them 1 final exam. And then we give them a bunch of worksheets they have to do on Monday. We don't say any more about it. And on Friday, we collect them to see who can turn in their stuff, who did their stuff.
So it's pretty hard that first week that they're
is.
just looking at it. I imagine some kids might think this is too hard. It's not fun and games. It's, we need to think of something else. But then you've got
It is difficult.
But then you got the kids who think that is fun and games, and like my son.
Right, and the ones that love it, you can tell. So yes, your son is in the program and a newly selected freshman this year, and he looks sharp in the new uniform.
Oh, yes, he does.
And
Yes, he does.
and he's very proud to wear it.
Oh, yes.
So
He actually wore it to scouts instead of wearing his scout uniform. That little white lie. He said,
Right.
"Oh, I didn't have time to change."
Yeah,
Cleaners.
and so, and that's okay, right? To have pride.
Oh, yes.
To have pride in what you're doing in your high school.
Yes.
I think that's huge.
Yeah.
So your son is in there, and he's and he earned his spot, and as Scott was saying, it's a lot of work. It's very competitive, and I remember one year we had 126 kids want 14 slots.
Wow.
Wasn't there a grade point average they had to have in that 1 week? They had to get a 95 or better.
So
or something?
it does go like that, but we work off. Westfield Public Schools has a rubric. Westfield Technical Academy has a rubric for exploratory, and then we incorporate the quizzing and the testing and evaluating into that rubric.
Okay.
So yes, you can put a grade average to it, but it's pretty much how you
There's a few other things that matter.
how you meet that rubric.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So on the same subject, what do the kids graduate with? So I know it's changed, it's evolved since 2015. Currently, what do the kids graduate with from this technical program?
So now this year, the graduating class will graduate with an A&P license.
That's amazing.
So we started power plant in February. So these kids will be going through about July 18th, August 2nd, somewhere in there. They're going to graduate with their A&P certification where they could take their tests.
Wow.
So this will be the first year. In that class, in 9th grade, I promised them that they would be power plant certified. And, I pushed Galen over there, say, let's get this done, and we did it.
Wow. All right.
Very cool.
How often does the FAA get involved?
Usually, it's supposed to be like 4 times a year, Galen?
Yeah, they're supposed to hit us quarterly, and that's a complete records check. So every student is tracked time wise, where they're at, attendance wise, where they're at in the curriculum. So all this is tracked right down to the minute. And so the FAA comes in and evaluates all this, and over the past couple of years, we've been spotless. So we hit the mark every single time. It's kind of like an IG inspection.
Right.
If you're doing outstanding, they're not gonna dig any deeper.
Right.
Because you got it, right?
Right.
So that's kind of where we're at. They're not.
That's good.
They're not hitting us as often because we're giving them the same results over and over and over.
That's
and
amazing.
over.
That's amazing.
And today
It's amazing because it's different kids. So it's the teachers, you guys are consistent with what you're doing.
Absolutely.
But these are different kids and you're still getting the same results, which is, it's just,
Yeah, that's a lot of work on it, by itself.
yeah, it really is.
Keeping our records and keeping our hours and all that stuff.
So what does a classroom look like?
So
I could show you part of the classroom from way back when.
Yeah.
That's an oldie but a goodie right
wow.
there.
Wow.
That's
What-
back to the beginning.
Do we know? Do we have a year on this?
I believe it is the first year of the program.
yeah,
Okay.
2015.
That's when they were still working on the hangar.
Wow.
So okay, that's actually the second year. That's the second year, but yes, we had the MiG-15. I actually got an opportunity to fly that, which was kind
Will that MiG-15 be one of the planes on May 17th that I can go in?
on May 7th. No, that
Okay.
aircraft is at Westover right now. It needs a complete. It needs an annual, a real depth inspection. And when you fly something like that, there's a Soviet block-built aircraft
Yep.
from 1960. You
Yep.
probably want to make sure that everything is working the way it should.
And then there was this.
Yeah. And
Oh, what's this?
so we towed that aircraft in town. Mike Warren towed that
Oh, yes.
with his truck. And we towed it in
Previous
town for our
Barnstormer.
grand opening. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Right through the
great.
middle of
That is
town.
great. So there's a lot of 104th connection with this program. So I kind of want to get into the details here. How has the 104th supported you, and how important is it that you have those connections and you keep them with the 104th Fighter Wing?
So for the students, it's great because, you got your, airframe and power plant. So the students here learn a little bit of everything, for maintenance. And when we go to the 104th, everything is very detailed. So you have your hydraulic shop, you have your structural shop, you have your avionics shop, electrical shop, all those kinds of things. So when we're going through those courses and during class, we can utilize the 104th and go to avionics, to go to structural, to go to hydraulics, and the kids can actually see how it works by trained
Actually
professionals.
seeing them.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys were on base yesterday. Here's a picture. You guys were actually in the Hush House yesterday.
Yeah, we were in the Hush House yesterday.
That is something that I've never even done.
So cool.
I have been on base 27 years and have never been in there. So that is an amazing experience. So you guys were here yesterday. The kids were working on ground equipment.
So yeah, we do ground operations, and Mr. Hepburn thought it'd be a good idea if he brought the students over to see some of the support equipment that goes into the ground operations.
Yeah, yeah.
But talking about the 104th, I mean, with regards to, tours. You guys always open the gate doors. I used to thumb Pete Carr all the time. Hey, can I bring the kids over? Hey, can you supply us an airplane for graduation? And you guys have always, without exception, supported
You
us.
guys are our future recruits.
and I don't think there's been a single year, average-wise, where we have not given at least one student to the 104.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, and I know a lot of our kids, a lot of people on base, our kids are in the program. But yesterday, yeah, you guys came out. It was like a last-minute schedule, and we're like, yeah, absolutely, come out to the shop, see what's going on. And then we were able to bring you in for a group photo and see the jets up close. These kids are getting really unique experiences. I think it helps, too, that you're on the other side of our flight line. Like, you have your classroom. I don't think people know this, but you're not just in the Westfield Technical School. You have a hangar that the kids go to school in, and that hangar is on the other side of our fence line. So it makes it a lot easier for you guys to come over and visit. And of course, obviously, with your great connections that you've already had, being alumni from the base, so that's been amazing.
Well, we have you.
Yeah.
So, that's...
I have been around a little bit, and I will absolutely love to have you guys anytime. I am so proud of the 104th, and then programs like that come out of the did it come out of the 104th? I don't know. You came out of the 104th, and you created this program. From what I understand, and let me know if this is correct, this is the only aviation program for high schoolers in New England, and one of 3 in the country.
Yeah. So and the key here is we are FAA certified.
That's just...
So we're Federal Aviation Administration certified as an airframe and power plant school at the high school level.
That's just
There is
amazing.
no such school in all of New England. There are a total of 3 in the country. But here's something else. We are the only one that is a vocational school with 10 other programs.
Wow.
So you can do graphic arts. You can do, all of this, plus carpentry and electrical and all that. The other schools in the United States, they're specifically aviation, like the Bronx. If you want engineering, if you want avionics or crew or piloting,
Yep.
All that stuff, that's where you go, the Bronx Aviation High School. They don't have that 10
Right.
other programs that we have. So we're kind of a one of a kind. We are one of a kind with regards to that. How cool is
It's
that?
great. These are kids who can still be kids, but they're getting really college level
They are.
education.
And when they
It's
walk
just-
across the stage with their FAA license,
Yep.
that's
just-
38 college credits
Oh, yeah.
in the eyes of the federal
huge.
government.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's just amazing. And
So-
everything you guys are experiencing them too. So not only the 104th, but I know that you guys visit the Westfield Aviation Museum. So
Yes.
you get to
Oh, yeah.
see the vintage aircraft and learn some history, which is huge for me. Love history. What other experiences are they able to get while they're with your program?
So a lot of times they even when you're talking about the museum next door, so those guys over there, they give the kids rides.
Yeah.
So they spend, they'll come over on a Thursday, Friday morning, and the kids will get a ride in an aircraft just to experience, what you need to fix, why it's so important.
So they're seeing flying. They're seeing how to maintain the aircraft. So they're getting like the full picture of that. Well, I know you answered. We had some members join the base that come out of your program. What other kind of jobs do they get when they leave the program? Looking for fighter jet pilots. Do they become pilots?
So we typically the students track 3 ways. Typically is what we found through our data over the past 10 years almost. And they track the technical side, obviously. Airframe power plant is very technical. And then they track engineers and then pilots. We also have them going into the military. We have one at the Air Force Academy, one that should have got in this year, but he got disqualified due to medical, but he was right up to the gate and at the last second. But they go to great colleges as well, with Norwich University, WPI, RPI, Wichita State, North Dakota State, Embry-Riddle is another big school that the kids go to. So there's so many opportunities with this program as a start.
Yeah, and with the fighter pilot aspect, you have Ken Fedora, Hatman. So he's retired
prior
alumni.
Barnstormer. Yep.
Yep. So his son came through the program. He's currently at Barnes as a crew chief.
Yeah.
So he's one that has an aspiration of becoming a fighter pilot. So that might be your first one.
Oh, that would be great. Well, I'm so glad. I'm so happy to hear, especially with the 104th being a supporter for you guys.
And Hatman sits on our advisory board.
Wow. Okay. And I do know that he has his aircraft at that museum, so it's going to be available and flying on May 17th.
The Citabria. Nice. Yeah, I also fly the Citabria.
So I don't know if you know, but Danny's going to be a ramp rat that day.
Yeah, I
know. Now
know.
that he knows how to do fueling.
We're going to have a tent there. We're going to have a tent, so the freshmen are going to be asked to show.
Oh, good.
So
good.
in uniform and all that stuff, so looking sharp.
Yeah, I'm
so
excited.
Mr. Fowle will be spearheading that.
Cool. I do know at that event, too, we'll have a lot of 104th swag and stuff being offered. But
Yeah.
anything else you guys want to put in? Anything that we should know?
Yeah. So there's one other aspect, too. Mr. Shaves, so Lieutenant
yes.
Shaves. So he's
104th
one of our
member.
teachers, 104th member. So he's over there active
amazing.
right now. So, really good connection, too, in the future. So
Great.
Right.
he's been here, 3 years now?
Yeah, he's been a teacher for 3 years. He's interesting story with him. He was an English teacher in Springfield, and he's also a pilot, private pilot, and loves aviation. So was able to steal him and get him over here, and now he's teaching, and he does a splendid job.
Now he's in officer school right now?
No, he's at officer school, so he's just doing training on the base. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to him in a while.
He's in maintenance.
He's a maintenance officer.
He's a maintenance officer.
So that just works right with you guys, too. Yeah, the experience and stuff that you guys are bringing from
Isn't
the
that
104th.
awesome?
Yeah, that's so
is.
cool. So, you have any other questions?
I think I'm good. Thank you guys so much. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
love
Pleasure
it.
being here.
Oh, great.
I will be there on the 17th. I'll be first in line.
All right. Look forward to
We'll
that.
look for you.
All right.
All right. Okay.
So nothing left for today. I think we're just going to close out the podcast. I think we're good. We might have gone a little over time, but I can't
there's
wait
no
to
such
see
thing as
your
time.
responses. Everybody like and comment. If you have questions for anybody, make sure you put them in the comments, and we'll get them answered for you. Also, stay tuned for our socials, Facebook, Instagram. We have a website. We have a YouTube. And next week, we will have that air scoop out. So just stay tuned for some more information.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And we look forward to having some amazing content for you coming up. So we'll see you in the next one.